I normally don't let them walk like this, but I'm just happy they're like this close together and they seem to be fine. Maybe walking through the almost jungle, some of you might know what this means. What's nice about coming to the beach this early in the morning is a few-fold. It's, I don't think it's 7 yet. It might be, I don't know. But the dogs like it, we get more steps in, and walking on the beach for a long period of time is a lot harder than walking on a hard surface for a long period of time. Because with the whole sinking into the sand stuff. So like the first or second time we came here, I didn't hook up my shoes to my shoulder bag, and someone stole my shoes. You live, you learn, I guess. It's just always the way. The nanosecond you make a commitment to start making content more frequently, your dogs forget how to walk on the leash, so they just jerk you everywhere. You guys are better than that. Yeah, the beach is hard, but it's like they've done it before. But now that I have my camera in my pocket, or now that more accurately, now that I have a handle connected to my phone, they just like, nope, we have no idea how we've been trained over the last couple of years. We're just gonna not do it. Whatever. Wonder what's going on. Big butt. It's been an absolute hell of a day already, from the debacle with the dogs to, you know, Kira and I had a long conversation about like the YouTube stuff, and you know, I've been doing a lot more short form video lately, and you know, we get into the argument all the time about, you know, there's people that like kind of came up with me that did more and blew up and got bigger than me, which is, you know, great for them. And it's like, why didn't you do that? I'm like, well, I don't know. I continue to think about like, you know, there's a lot of people on the internet that are a lot bigger than me, and there's a lot of people on the internet that are a lot bigger than me that I think I'm like better at this than they are, but the evidence would suggest probably not, because they are in that position. And it's a constant battle between what I think I want my social platform to look like and, you know, what like, I don't even know. Like with the things that I like to watch versus the things that Kyrie likes to watch versus, you know, is it possible to combine those two things, right? Because I watch a lot of like the talking head stuff, and if there's a talking head video that I'm interested, I'm gonna sit there and watch it, even though it's, you know, 15, 20 minutes long. It might be like camera reviews or like tech videos, stuff like that. And Kyrie watches a lot of the vlog content, and it's hard for me to sit and create the vlog content because I just don't watch it. At the same time, you know, she wants something that, you know, we can document our lives with. I think there's a big vote for doing the vlog style content, because, you know, if I just have a public social media, like a public Instagram account, sure, it looks like I'm just the one doing stuff, and it looks like she's not doing anything, which is obviously wrong. But in my own mind, like I get in my own mind too much, and I know that as of this recording, I have like 6,500 subscribers on YouTube, and if I make videos that like some people don't like, then like who cares? Very few people are gonna see them anyway, right? Even though I've been like technically making videos for like a number of years, I have not been consistent with them for like more than maybe a week, maybe two. So it's been kind of a hard thing for me to reconcile. You know, what does it look like? I'm like, I don't know. A lot of this stuff, like I understand, is just making excuses. And a lot of this stuff is just actively getting in my own way. And whether or not like I do it on purpose, like when I take a step back and I'm calm, I can realize that yes, I'm just kind of getting in my own way, and I don't need to be getting in my own way, right? But when it comes down to doing it, I feel paralyzed by it, and I don't know why, right? It's the same thing for doing like online coaching stuff. I know all that stuff. Like, I'm aware that I know all of that stuff, right? I've done the medical school and the residency training. I've been in the health and fitness space as effectively a patient or client, and then for the last 8 years telling people what to do, and then the 1 or 2 years, 3 years before that, just being the person who was overweight and needed to get in better shape and healthier. And so I've been doing this for more than 10 years, the whole thing. Like, I know the stuff, right? And I know how to talk to people one-on-one, and I know how to play the room, and I know all this stuff. Just like, social media stuff. I know this stuff. It just comes to actually sitting down and executing that I just become so paralyzed. And it's just been really frustrating. And that was a very exhausting morning getting through all that. Also, we had the electricians come. We got a new oven that needed a different outlet, so we had him switch that. And then we're getting the house cleaned every 2 weeks now, like professionally. Because when we were in Nashville, Kyrie really would. She does 98-ish% of the cleaning. But it would be like vacuum and mop the floors in the morning, probably vacuum in the middle of the day, and then vacuum and wash the floors in the evening on, days we were both home. Now that there's not really a mud pit in our backyard like there was in Nashville, that's a lot easier. So now it's just like dog hair, and if we go to the beach, maybe one of the dogs picks up a lot of sand from the beach. But this morning wasn't that bad. I turned the air conditioning way down in my car because I was afraid that it would be too loud with the microphone, because I found my old Sony mic and I put it on top of this camera, because my old camera didn't have a hot shoe, which means it provides power to the actual microphone, so I couldn't really use it. So now that I bought a used ZV-E10 and I have this microphone I brought it 5 years ago, now I can actually use it. Kira's not going to be thrilled about seeing me in public with this thing because she has lots of anxiety with it, and so do I. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not used to this at all. And I'm like the one guy who does this stuff, so. That being said, I try to be a positive force in the gym when people are trying to record their stuff. Like, I offer to record it or like give them tips about it. I really hate when people are recording it on Snapchat because you can just like press the photo button and drag it over and then boom, video with your music in there. Anyway, all right, I'm going to the gym. For whatever reason, over the last decade plus that I've been working out, once I started like actually lifting weights, for the last probably 4-ish years, I have been happy when my workouts are over because, I have stuff to do, but also a little bit on the sadder side because it's like I want to stay there for longer and do more stuff because it's like I actually enjoy doing it. Problem is you like start to actually run out of juice. So it's like, all right, it's time to go home. But as long as I get my proper thing done, then I'm happy. I've been more aggressively monitoring my intake over the past couple of months. It's kind of ebbing and flowing. Sometimes it's really on point, sometimes it's a little bit more lax. I think overall I have been eating less as an average over a long period of time. So I hit my new low weight for this particular weight loss program, not even a program, just like weight loss time period maybe, at 211.8. I hit that yesterday, and as you can see, I can still do 315 pounds in the bench press for a double. I probably had another one in me, but I was too afraid because I didn't have a spotter, and I could have just asked for a spotter, but I only wanted to go for a double because I also didn't want to hurt myself, because I've done that before. So let's not do that. I'm on the way to the grocery store to pick up some fish because Kira mentioned that she wanted fish for dinner, and I don't think we have any, or maybe we have some that's frozen, but we didn't take it out in time, so I'm gonna go get some anyway. Where I'm going to get it is kind of a bougier place, so I'm not sure how kindly they're gonna take me walking in after a workout. It's like if you're wearing, athleisure, but it's like nice and put together, then fine, whatever. But if you're an actual sweaty mess, we'll see. I don't think they're that stuffy because it's like a grocery store, but I don't know. Appreciate it. How you going? Thank you. Have a good one. I was happily wrong. I did not get laughed out of the store. There were some people that gave me kind of funny looks, but I'm used to that. I will say it's like predominantly, honestly, it's like older women in there, right? Mostly. For whatever, I don't know why. That's just what it is. But maybe I'm in the wrong time, and they're not used to seeing somebody who's not an older woman there. Kyria likes to have like a small piece of chocolate for dessert, like every night, like literally like one or two like little squares in a chocolate bar. What we have been doing recently, especially since coming up here, is like getting a pound of mango, like fresh and cut mango, and just eating that. For me, that's like awesome because it's a lot of volume, it's a lot of sweetness, and it's not a ton of calories. Just because, I don't know, I don't really want to feel like crap, because if I had a big giant dessert, I would feel like crap. Not back when I was wildly overweight and did that at baseline, but now that I don't do that, yeah, it's gonna make me feel like crap. And certainly not to say that there's anything wrong with doing that every once in a while as far as like health is concerned. Mental health is part of it, but to maintain my mental health, that's not really part of it, so I just don't do it because it makes me feel like crap. I don't know that I've ever cooked salmon steaks before though, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research before I actually cook them and try not to ruin them. So what a treat for everyone. I get to change my insulin today. No, it's not really changing my insulin, just changing my pump, because these things last me there we go. These things last me about 3 or 4 days, give or take, and get to replace them. So you guys get to see me do it. What a treat for everyone. For those of you who don't know, I've been a type 1 diabetic for almost 30 years now. The door is still open. Excuse me. It'll be way easier to cool my house if the doors aren't open. So I have been a type 1 diabetic for almost 30 years now, and I've been using this pump for 3 years now. I used to do just like a bunch of injections every day. Definitely one in the evening and one pretty much every time I wanted to eat. And, well, I could probably talk while doing this. It was fine. I did really well with it. That being said, it was kind of time for an improvement, really. I was trying so hard after I got my continuous glucose monitor to, get my A1C as low as possible, because an A1C closer to normal range, then, my body just doesn't actually know that I'm diabetic. So that was definitely through a combination of, improving my lifestyle, exercising properly, which I was kind of already doing to begin with, but now that I had such observation of what my blood sugar was doing, I became kind of obsessed with it, and I just got hypoglycemic a lot. In the late spring of, late spring 2017, I had a hypoglycemic episode so bad that I actually lost consciousness. I was just on the street of Chicago, and I was flopping around like a fish and just really upset. One of the last things I remember is we were walking around a grocery store, and the only thought I had was, I need to follow that one. And Kyria was ahead of me, so I'm just like, okay, I have to follow her. But that's the only thing that my hypoglycemic brain could come up with at that time. And at the end of it, towards the end of it, it's like, I know that my blood sugar is low, but I don't have the actual ability to convey that to her. It's like, it's in your head, but you can't say it because your brain has no sugar in it. So yeah, you can't say it. So after that happened, it was, okay, let's not aim for a completely normal A1C because it's gonna kill me faster than it is gonna save me. And then I got this pump, which does some of the thinking for you. Like, for example, if my blood sugar is like creeping higher overnight, I won't wake up because it's just a little bit creeping higher, and I don't really need to do much to it, but it will adjust the amount of insulin that it gives me over the course of time, and hopefully either fix the problem or just like blunt the spike. It doesn't do everything for me because I have to tell it that I'm eating, I have to tell it that I'm exercising. I do also suggest to it that I'm sleeping. But that being said, it's been allowing me, I would say, better control, even if it's not, exactly where I would love my A1C to be, which is like 5.5. But when I got down to 5.7, I almost died. So as far as I'm concerned, being in the the low sixes, I think is probably fine, because we don't have data in people like me who are in the low sixes for their entire lives, right? We have data on people who are wildly uncontrolled for a long period of time, and they do poorly, but there's so few people who have taken good care of themselves for multiple decades that we don't know what the difference between 6.3 and 5.3 is. So after I got the cartridge swished, I have to use the pump to actually fill up this tubing, which takes a little while. And we wait for it to be ready for loading. Hello? There we go. Now we wait, and now we start, and now we wait some more. I'm being dramatic, it doesn't actually take that long. Maybe if I bring my camera to my face, it will focus on that. Oh, now you can't see it, but I don't know if you can see it, but there is a little bit of insulin droplet on the blue introducer covering. But once I get some insulin popping out of there, that's when I know we are good to go. So that's when I know that the tube's full. And after having done this every 3-ish days for the past 3-ish years, you could kind of go to guessing. So we take the back trash off, we take the cover off, we take this pile of trash off. There's always a lot of trash involved, but I'd rather not get a raging infection than, yeah. And then, this is the fun part, we shove it over here. I need to bring this closer to me. Shove it over here, and we go. Yeah, sometimes it's not fun. Because this is the needle. It's not the biggest needle I've ever seen, but it's not little. But having to do that every, let's say, 3 to 4 days versus taking, I don't know, 6 to 10 injections every day, I think this is probably better. And with the lack of wild hypoglycemic episodes, yeah, it's better because I'm not almost dead as often. So that was that. Kyrie went to go to Whole Foods because she realized that she doesn't have any food to eat here. And I don't have that much, but I can just go to the grocery store at some point. We usually eat more or less the same thing. I'm gonna make those salmon steaks in a minute, and then we're gonna probably talk about the dogs at dinner. So while we don't always eat the same thing at the same time, tonight is not one of those nights. So as I cook the salmon, Kyrie is doing the salad because she always makes a really good salad and always makes her own really good homemade dressing. But she's responsible for the salad, and she makes her own dressing that she has been kind of thinking about selling at farmers markets, sorta.
It's delicious.
Did anything ever come of that?
I just have to get some permit or something like that.
No. Well,
And figure out how to box it.
yeah.
Not box it, what do you call it?
Like bottle it? Yeah. Can't just do like mason jars?
Can, but I don't know. It's more practical.
Yeah. But in better news, other than a terrible avocado, Kyrie's new scrubs got here.
Yeah.
And I can't be the only one who's sponsored by Figs. Actually, I can be, but that doesn't mean she can't have any. So
And I got this style that I'm obsessed with now. That
it's
one.
the Rafaela scrub top. It's the one where it like kind of folds over. I have a army green looking one for the guys version, but it folds over. It doesn't like V cut like most scrubs do. So the neckline's kind of nice.
It looks.
We got her the dark purple ones last time, I think. And then
purple.
she wanted the ones more like the dark green that I have, like the army green almost, but they were out of stock in her size. So, of course, they were doing a embroidering deal. I think it was free when we ordered it, so I can afford free. So yeah, that's the shopping for the day. Sort of.
I record my dressing.
Well, I can record it, but you never you don't measure anything, so who cares?
Do you want red wine vinegar or regular balsamic?
Probably the red wine with the salmon.
Both would be good, honestly. Can I say what's in the salad? We eat almost the same thing every
Yeah, it's
single
kind of it doesn't really vary that much. I guess seasonal vegetables it does. Looks like feta. Looks like sunflower seeds, and chopped up apple. Looks like cranberries, dried cranberries. Did you put any
cheese. It's
any
mostly
pumpkin
just
seeds?
like lettuce, dried fruit, a cheese, and a nut, and that's really what we just go between.
Yeah, we have essentially this much between the two of us every day.
Then I make the dressing.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't buy dressing.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we bought dressing. For those of you new here, these guys got in a fight, and a big one, a little more than a year ago. And we didn't think we'd ever see the day that this would be normal and not terrifying. I think Kira is still a little terrified, but...
I'm terrified. When you see dogs get in a fight, it's not fun.
It's fair. Marsha's hunting lizards.
Just figured out that she has to scare them out with her paws, so she hits her paws really hard. Try to get them to run. Watch her.
She has to stomp the greenery to scare them away, and then they run away, and then she tries to track them. I don't think she's ever gonna get one, but at least the ones over here aren't harmful to dogs. So if she manages to get one, then good. Millie is entirely useless when it comes to this endeavor. She just stands there, and often she just barks. Yep.
Be a bird hunter. She turned out to be a lizard hunter.
Yeah, exactly. Marsha's supposed to be a bird hunter, and now she's a lizard hunter. There's some birds that kind of hang out on the power line, not that far from our house, and sometimes she stares at them awkwardly, but the lizards are easier to catch, I would imagine. Although she still, caught neither bird or lizard. Uh-oh, it's pointing time. Bum 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 bum. Kira's never had a salmon steak before, but this is kind of what they look like. There's a bone in the center, and then there's the bones, the spine bones that go up behind it. But don't eat that.
Try not to.
I asked for 2 of these, but I think he heard. Oh no, maybe I did ask for 2 pounds. I thought they were a pound each, but whatever. This is the final salad product. Woo.
It's delicious. Oh.
The first night we ate out here, the black flies were just everywhere. And I don't know what it was, but that was
Well, you got these fans now too.
well, yeah, we have the fans above us, which is why we can sit out here and not die. Because it's going to be so hot.
Marsha, don't eat that stuff.
She eats the baby coconuts.
Oh, that's really good.
No.
Yeah. Really?
Oh, she's just lost. She's I don't know what to do, but I'm just going to be part of it. I feel like a handful of people will give us crap for trying to, saying we eat the same thing kind of every day. And we kind of do, but it's not exactly the same thing every day. It varies a little bit.
Yeah.
And it helps because it takes our thoughts out of it. We don't have to think about what we're gonna have for dinner, right? It's not an active decision that has to be made. It's one more thing that's taking off our cognitive plate every day that we don't really have to deal with, so that we can deal with other stuff.
And it's delicious.
Yeah, and it's good, and especially if you find something that's aligns with whatever your goals might happen to be, while not making you miserable. That's perfect. I could eat the same thing 3 meals a day for the rest of my life and be happy about it, but somebody else needs a little bit more variety.
The dressing turned out really good.
Yeah, not too vinegary. So we're gonna finish eating. It was a busy day with our discussions and with the people coming over and the doing of the stuff. But now all of our appliances work. I'm looking forward to sharing everything that we've done to the house so far. A lot of it was supposed to be done already, and a lot of it is still to come.
We still have a lot of decorating to do.
Oh yeah, that's a lot.
It's the hardest part, and it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Thank God. He's out.
Be more awkward, I dare ya.